Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 33, I want to say, of our local to global LLW series. And we are on the road to Clock Strikes 12. I should know, I made the pay-per-views up. We're on the road to Clock Strikes 12, and the London's own tournament continues with the right side of the tournament bracket. I'm not going to bring it up. You're just going to have to remember who's in the tournament and who isn't. But we will find out our quarter finalists by the end of this episode, as we will have the week 3 and week 4 November shows, plus a little review to see how November went in terms of money, popularity, and other things like that. I've heard some rumblings across Twitter, Facebook, if anyone even uses that, Instagram, TikTok, all the pro wrestling news sites, that there's a Timothy Thatcher rumour going around. I'm not going to comment on anything because, who knows. But we will see if William Regal addresses those rumours. Spoiler, he does, because none of you know what the rumour is. Yeah, trying to make it a bit, yeah. Anyways, we're here in the pre-show. We've got one match in the pre-show, and to be honest, exceeded my expectations. So in a pre-show match that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, May Sarah, yeah, if you're British, you'll get that. Although, if you're other countries, you might get that as well, I don't know. May Sarah defeats Kanji in 9 minutes 30 with a shooting star press with a 70 rated in-ring performance. Kanji with a 40, which, isn't the best, but she's never going to be a world star in LLW. Well, you never know. You never know. But a 59 overall, not bad. Can't complain about that. As I said the other day, the kind of mid-tier of our women's division in LLW is slowly kind of getting up there. Like, our top of the card is insane. One of those is in ring action later on today. But yeah, insane. Love it. Let's keep going. But let's dive straight into the show where I can confirm William Regal has an announcement. So, William Regal is here, centre stage, and says, I'm sure you have all read the rumours. I'm sure you have all heard the rumours. Since our last show, where the main event of Clock Strikes 12 was confirmed, Timothy Thatcher, our former Prince of the Lariat League, vacated his Prince's title in order to challenge the throne of Drew Galloway, our new King of the Lariat League. Unfortunately, that match will no longer be going ahead. This is because Timothy Thatcher has decided against signing a new deal with Lariat League Wrestling and has instead opted to sign an exclusive deal somewhere else. Timothy does still have around 25 days left on his contract. However, given that this is a very important run for LLW in the coming weeks, we have opted to not use him for the remainder of his contract, meaning that the main event of Clock Strikes 12 will no longer happen. This is very disappointing news. It's not the first time a Thatcher has let the United Kingdom down. But we are LLW. We are more than one person. I mean, Thatcher's not all that. Well, he is, but shut up. We will continue. Clock Strikes 12 will still be one of our best shows yet, as they all are, one after the other. And Drew Galloway's opponent for Clock Strikes 12 will be decided at a later date. So, yes, that fucker, Timothy Thatcher, as you saw in, I think it was 3 episodes ago, we were throwing exclusive deal after exclusive deal at a bunch of people. Thatcher was one of them. He was happy with our deal. He was like, if any other better offers come my way, I'll accept yours because I love you. Keeping in mind that we were actually the top of his list of people he likes to wrestle for. And then in swoops Ring of fucking Honor, offering him I think it's 19,000 a month, which, I haven't done that with any of these wrestlers. I've kept it at around 2k per show. because we very rarely use people 4 times a week. And even if it is 4 times a month, even if it is 4 times a month, that's 2, 4, 6, 8,000. That's not like 20k. It's not stupid numbers. But I kept upping Thatcher's. I wanted to do the per week thing that we did with others. I got to about 5k per show, and he still was like, I've got better offers elsewhere. Which, to be fair, mate, if we use you week in, week out, you haven't. That included a nice, pretty penny signing on bonus, 20% per event. But he wasn't interested, and I was like, you know what? He's not worth me spending this much on him. Even though I'd already written out the plans for the next 8-9 weeks that included Thatcher. And of course, Clock Strikes 12 as well. We've had to go back to the drawing board. So Thatcher is no more, and you will not see him wrestle in Lariat League Wrestling anymore. So it's another Nixon Newell, Masha Slamovich case. Very disappointing, but we move on. We've got some amazing stars in LLW, so we continue. But going back to the show, that was a little French Ted moment. Going back to William Regal, as he said, Drew Galloway's opponent will be decided at a later date. And as he says that, there is a silence in the arena. Everyone's like, boo, boo, because they're booing Thatcher. When suddenly a very familiar music or entrance song, however you want to describe it, plays. And it is, of course, the return of former king of the Lariat League, Ashton Smith. He comes out, the crowd are lifted again because they're like, oh, it's Ashton, we love you, Ashton, the homegrown boyo king, our king of the Lariat League. Ashton Smith, he returns and he says, Will, I mean, I don't disagree with anything you said. Very disappointing. And yeah, Thatcher just seems to be a name that rubs us British folk the wrong way. So I think there's only one thing to do. I, of course, lost my King of the Lariat League title at London's Calling. However, I have not received my rematch. I would like, if that's okay with you, William, I would like to have that rematch at Clock Strikes 12. And I'm happy for Drew Galloway to pick whichever stipulation he deems fit to get this match happening. And William Regal says, Ashton, you know we love you. Everyone loves you, Ashton. And you are one of our you are our greatest champion in Lariat League Wrestling's short history. And of course, I would be happy to book this match. However, I will leave the decision in Drew Galloway's court. When he appears next week, so it'll be in this episode, he will make his decision, and should he agree, will choose his stipulation. But until then, welcome back. So yeah, big news. I mean, not only is Timothy Thatcher fucking off, the prick, Ashton Smith is back and says, you know what, Bill, I want my rematch and I'm willing to let Drew Galloway pick the stipulation to make sure it happens. So, will Drew say yes? And if so, what stipulation is he picking? Should make for, God, I can't get my words out, can I? A very interesting affair. You know, not completely off the cuff or anything, but anyways, enough of this jibber jabber. Let's go into a match. Why not? And it is the return of another person that lost at London's Calling, Megan Bain, the Megasus. And at 66, in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, it is, of course, Megan Bain winning and defeating Martina in 1841 by pinfall. Megan Bain with a 64, Martina with a 55, and a 66 overall. Can't complain. Great win from Megan Bain, getting herself back on track on that winning cycle. Following on from this, though, I believe we go straight into the London's Own matches. We do. It is the next round of the London's Own matches. A 72. And in a bout that had superb wrestling, it is, of course, Ricky Knight Jr., RKJ, defeating the Governor Anthony Ogogo in a London Zone match by 2-1. Ricky Knight Jr. advances into the quarterfinals. His opponent will be the winner of Shun Skywalker and whoever replaces Kojima, because idiot here, for some reason, was like, oh, Kojima, I know he's like 60, but yeah, let's hire him. He'll be fun to use. Not realising that the man's retired, and we've kept him. We've got a road agent out of it, so, and he seems to be doing some good road agent work. But either way, Ricky Knight Jr. is through, a great talent, someone that I'm really, really high on, and hopefully... Oh, my door has just gone, so bear with me one moment. Okay, we are back. Oh, being interrupted in the middle of recording. How dare they? But I had to answer the door because it's a package for the now wife. And obviously, you know, you don't want to be like, oh, I was in the middle of recording, because, you know, she'll kick up a stink. Either way, RKJ is through to the quarter final. And I think following this, we're about to find out who Shun Skywalker's opponent is. Please don't get your hopes up. It's not a debut or anything special. It's just someone else in the company. It is, of course, El Hijo del Fantasma. I think he's like a low-key fan favourite, or he's just a fan favourite of mine. Puts in great work in the ring. You know, we don't want him languishing in the tag division forever, so we'll give him a chance. He's had some great singles matches. I think it was him against Thatcher, like, over a year ago in this save. Got like an 80-something, so let's see if he can replicate that in our main event tonight. First round, London Zone match, Shun Skywalker taking on El Hijo del Fantasma. Let's go. At 81, can't complain about that. In a bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Shun Skywalker defeats El Hijo del Fantasma in a London Zone match by 2-1. They've got great chemistry, love that. Shun Skywalker's got a hot new move, an 84 from Shun and an 80 from El Hijo. So that means that Shun Skywalker progresses and will face Ricky Knight Jr. in the next round of the London's own tournament. And that is how we end our show. But before we properly end it, a little video has been uploaded to the LLW YouTube / Twitter / X / Tumblr page. And we can see Joe Anoa'i and Madoka Kikuta entering El Hijo del Fantasma's locker room post-show. I wonder what that is. I mean, we can guess what that is. I'm assuming Anoa'i is looking to recruit for his global empire. But is Phantasma someone that can be swayed by, you know, the rugged charm of Joe Anoa'i? We will have to wait and see. But very interesting. I mean, what's Chuck Mambo going to think about this? Who knows? But that is how we end the show. With a 78. Again, we're killing it. We're absolutely killing it. I think we've got 56, 57 popularity, so we're very close to medium, but let's be honest, we're a medium company. If anything, if we're popping mid to high 70s a week, we're a large company. I'm sorry, but we are. We just need to get there, I guess. But that is it for the first half of this episode. Let me go away, book the other one, and I'll see you guys in a mo. Okay, and here we are for our final show of November. It is our week 4 show, if you couldn't do the math, of our Lariat League in London. We're at the Crystal Palace Sports Centre as opposed to the casino rooms, and a little bit less than last time, 1,966, despite the Crystal Palace Sports Centre being able to hold more people, which is a little bit disappointing because it costs more money to run at that venue, but hey ho, who cares? We're in the pre-show. And we have got Bobby Guns, I haven't seen him in a while, taking on Chris Ridgway. And, you know, does more than take him on. He beats him in 16 minutes with the Marlborough Plex. 65 rating overall. Chris Ridgway with a 67. That's awesome. Bobby Guns with a 63. Not bad. Bobby Guns, who is now one half of Gunpowder, because the other half is gone. So it's now just Gun. Yeah. Timothy Thatcher is exiled. And Bobby Guns is still around for now, but we'll see what happens. I do like Bobby Guns. I just wish that his in-ring numbers were a little bit better. Either way, they got great chemistry too, so that is a nice thing to just keep in the old back pocket for whenever, wherever. But yeah, that's it for the pre-show. One match, one and done. Let's head straight into the main show where we actually have an impromptu title match. And it is our Knights of the Lariat League defending their belts against Gursinda Singh and Taishi Ozawa. And in an opening bout that had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, New Blood, Ishin and Diamante defeat Singh and Ozawa in 22 minutes when Diamante pins Ozawa with a springboard 450 splash. This is defense number 1 of their Knights of the Lariat League title. It's a 72 rated match. Awesome. Ishin with a 65, Diamante with a 73, and both Ozawa and Singh with a 60. Diamante and Ishin got excellent chemistry. Awesome. Match got the show to a strong start. Awesome. Diamante's getting better as gimmick. Awesome. And yeah, 72 overall. Can't complain. Nice title defense for New Blood, who celebrate with the crowd post-match. But they are interrupted by Joe Anoa'i and Madoka Kikuta, also known as Madoka Joe, also known as the Anoa'i Global Empire, even though there's only 2 of them. But yeah, Joe Anoa'i comes out and congratulates New Blood and says, "You are exactly what I'm looking for in my global empire." So, what do you say? Want to join? And Ishin is kind of just, deadpan staring at Joe Anoa'i, and Diamante is very confused. He's like, what do we do? What do we do? Ishin just grabs the mic and says, "No." To which Anoa'i is a little bit annoyed. He's a little bit vexed. So he says, okay, that's fine. There's time. You'll come round. I'm sure you will. They all do. They all will. How about this instead? Clock Strikes 12, your title seems to be available. How about the Anoa'i Global Empire challenge you at Clock Strikes 12? And should we win, you become members of the Anoa'i Global Empire. This time, Diamante, who's kind of, sorted herself out a little bit, grabs the mic and says, okay, because I'm not too sure if their English is good or not. So Anoa'i says, good, okay. Oh, and by the way, I won't be in this match. It will be Kikuta and the newest acquisition of the Anoa'i Global Empire. Ooh, who's it gonna be? Gonna have to wait and see. That rhymes, woo. But yeah, so that match is set. It is the Anoa'i Global Empire taking on New Blood at Clock Strikes 12. And if the 2 members of the Anoa'i Global Empire win, New Blood must join the Anoa'i Empire, which, isn't a bad thing. So far, Joe Anoa'i hasn't really been a bad guy. He's just been like Billy Big Bollocks, you know what I mean? But yeah, very exciting. That should be a great match because Kikuta's awesome. Kikuta is actually in action tonight in our main event for his London's own match. So Kikuta might not even be in this tag team match. It could be new acquisitions, because who's to say Anoa'i has just acquired one person that you think you know of? I'm pointing at you guys right now that you think you know of. But either way, nice little segment. It's Joe Anoa'i on the mic, so it's a win, let's be honest. Following on from this, though, we've got a nice little promo. It's Aisha Ray. We haven't seen her since London's Calling. And she says that she has got beef with Megan Bain. She said if it wasn't for Megan Bain, I would be standing here, Queen of the Lariat League, again. But no, she had to stick her nose into the match. Rena had to add her to the match. And now I'm titleless. So before, Rena, I target you, I feel like I need to silence the Megasus. So, Megan Bain, I want you 1-on-1. And hopefully, I'll see you soon. So yeah, Aisha Ray not happy at all about being titleless and blames Megan Bain for this, which, fair enough. she was in the match. So it looks like we are going to get Aisha Ray, Megan Bayne down the line. When that is, we'll have to wait and see. But following this, we head straight into our first London's Own match, the penultimate first round match. It is Michael Oku taking on former Prince of the Lariat League, Mark Andrews. Oh, 58, my goodness. Oh, they don't click at all. Okay, well, at least it's out the way, you know what I mean? But in a bout that had great heat and good wrestling, apparently, Mark Andrews defeats Michael Oku in a London Zone match by 2 falls to none. Oh, Michael Oku, my boy, you couldn't get a single fall. Mark Andrews sweeping the floor. You know, he's probably a little bit pissed. You know, he lost his title to Timothy Thatcher. And now Timothy Thatcher gave up the title the following night. And then he's now fucked off to Ring of Honor. So, yeah, Andrews has got a nice little mean streak about him right now. And he's not happy because he's titleless. So, you know, this London Zone tournament is very important to him. But yeah, Oku with a 50, Andrews with a 58. I mean, they didn't click, so obviously their numbers got fucked. Oku probably would have been around early 60s, I'd say. Andrews closer to 70. But yeah, got the crowd buzzing though, somehow. Either way, a 58. Let's just move on from this. And move on we do to some big news. Drew Galloway is here, and he is making a decision on Ashton Smith's offer. Galloway is in the ring, and try not to read it to spoil, just listen to my lovely voice. Galloway's in the ring, and he says that he agrees with everything that William Regal and Ashton Smith said regarding Timothy Thatcher. The man came in, took a title, vacated a title, took an opportunity from someone, only to leave the company before any of that can come into fruition. Keep in mind that even if we wanted to play this out, Timothy Thatcher would have been gone before Clock Strikes 12 even comes. So Drew Galloway labels him a coward and a greedy man. And that is not what Lariat League Wrestling is about. Lariat League Wrestling is about wrestling first and foremost. And while Timothy Thatcher was one of the best to do it in LLW, his attitude is not required here. Which carries Drew Galloway's conversation onto Ashton Smith, a former 2-time King of the Lariat League. Galloway says, Ashton, I've given you a lot of shit in recent weeks, months, but you are the epitome of Lariat League Wrestling. You have been here since day one. You have carried this title from, you know, a new meaningless belt that someone just wears week in, week out. And you've brought it to this level of prestige that has so much value, not just in British wrestling, but in wrestling, and will continue to do so for years. So Ashton, I tip my hat to you. But you are no longer king of the Lariat League. I am king of the Lariat League, and I aim to keep it that way. So Ashton, you said that you wanted to face me in a rematch, and before I build any more suspense, I accept your challenge. At Clock Strikes 12, I will see you in the main event. I'm doing this all off the cuff, guys. I don't write scripts. Who writes scripts? I will see you in the main event, but it will be the last time I see you in the main event. And that is for 2 reasons. The first reason is that the first stipulation I'm adding, is that should I defeat you, which I will, you are unable to challenge for the King of the Lariat League title for as long as I am King of the Lariat League. And that includes Prince of the Lariat League rights. So should you become the Prince of the Lariat League down the line and I am still King, you will not be able to challenge my throne. And the second stipulation as to why we will not see each other again in a main event is because the match stipulation is last man standing. And Ashton, you will not be standing by the time the fireworks go off on New Year's. Those are my conditions. I've accepted your challenge. I will see you at Clock Strikes 12. Oh, well, that is a big announcement from Drew Galloway. So not only has he accepted Smith's challenge, but he's added a match stipulation and you could say a career stipulation. So should Drew Galloway defeat Ashton Smith in a last man standing match, Ashton Smith will no longer be able to challenge for the King of the Larry League title so long as Drew Galloway is at the top of the throne. Now, usually we would throw it back to Ashton to see if he accepts, but the conditions were in the last episode or the last show. Ashton Smith said, whatever stipulation he wants, I want this match. So it is official. William Regal has put it over on commentary that it will be Drew Galloway, Ashton Smith, LLW's first ever last man standing match, with the added stipulation that should Ashton Smith lose, he cannot challenge for the title so long as Drew Galloway is champion. Hopefully that will one up London's Callings match, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, let's focus back on the show. Galloway's done his thing. Well done, my boy. 80 rated segment. Let's head into the main event. We've got one match left in this episode, and it is the final round match, or the final first round match, sorry, of our London's own tournament. Madoka Kakuta of Madoka Joe, of Joe Anoa'i's Global Empire, taking on Cara Noir, someone who I think has been slept on for a very long time in LLW. Let's see what happens. 75, I'll take that. That's a great main event number. So in a bout that had superb wrestling, it is Cara Noir who defeats Madoka Kakuta in a London Zone match by 3 falls to 1. Cara Noir is not here to mess around. He, in my opinion, has lacked opportunity in LLW, so he is definitely taking this by the horns and will be pushing for success. So that is our final first round done. Cara Noir with a 76, Kakuta with a 63, 75 overall. Let's see how we did. 74, again, amazing. It only increased up around 47, not 55. That's interesting. Maybe some people didn't tune in this week. Who knows? But either way, 74 is awesome. I say this every single time, but we only really need a 60 rated show and above. So we are smashing it left, right, and centre. Andrews and Noir book their place into the next round, which will be the next round match, the quarterfinal match. Joanne Anoa'i has set a very interesting challenge for New Blood at Clock Strikes 12. Who will be the members of the Anoa'i Empire in that match? We'll have to wait and see. And Galloway sets a massive, not only match stipulation, but stipulation for, Ashton Smith's career in LLW. So yeah, very, very interesting things happening in the good old Lariat League in London. But that is not the end of this episode. We're going to quickly jump to the office, check out our finances, check out our popularity. I'll show you Timothy Thatcher's new deal with Ring of Honor, because why not? And we'll also take a quick look at the tournament in-game, because I can't be bothered to make a graphic, just to see what the next round matches are. Cool. I'll see you guys there in a minute. And here we are. For some reason, it took so long to get to the to get to this day. I think it's because there's more and more like regens and new workers being added that it's just slowly just gonna crash. I hope not. But either way, we've made it here. Week 1, December. That means we are 4 and a bit weeks away from Clock Strikes 12. You can see that 27 days, our final event of the calendar year. Very, very exciting. But we're not here to look at that. The reason I've done this is because there might be a few spoilers in this bit, so we're going to ignore that and hope that when we jump to these things it doesn't jump back. But you can see here Thatcher's contract expires in 11 days. Let's just jump to emails and take a look at that. So here the contract negotiations have ended as he signed an exclusive deal with Ring of Honor. Let's view Timothy Thatcher and let's look at his contract. So at the moment he is unwilling, unable, obviously. So he was getting 750 per show at Noah. He was getting 830 per show from us, but we upped that to, I think, about 5k per show at the max. But he is now signed with Ring of Honor and is earning 19,630 per month with Ring of Honor exclusively. I always find it weird how the game operates, because Ring of Honor seem to be throwing money around like it's nothing. But they don't really have any money. It's coming from AEW. It's just weird how it works. Like Ring of Honor have got so many exclusive people. It would just make sense to be like developmental signings, but then for I don't know. Either way, he's gone. I was thinking of pre-show using him, if that makes sense. Like just have some of the lower workers just beat him, which I think I might do for the next 4 weeks, leading up to our pay-per-view. So anyone on our roster that I don't have plans for, but obviously I want to keep around, I think I'm just going to have him job out to them. Although I can't do that for 4 weeks, I'm going to only do it for the next 2 shows because 11 days. So yeah, we'll do that. Another interesting thing, Michael Oku and Heidi Katrina are dating. So good old Boyo Oku and Heidi Katrina are now dating, which, you know, I think that's a pretty hot couple, not gonna lie. Heidi Katrina, I'm a massive fan of. Like, she became our Queen of Lariat League just by fluke, and I kind of fell in love with her. So I'm very jealous, Michael. And then, of course, the regional battle result, we finished first out of 3, of course we did, with the best in the UK by a mile. So, yeah. So there's that to look at. The next thing, as you can see here, we've made 182. So, you know, we're making profit. June was a bum month, but we're making profit month in, month out. Having a pay-per-view makes a huge difference in ticket sales. If you take a look at that, insane. Sponsors have gone up as well. Merchandise has flown up, which is awesome. Alliance money, we just ignore that. And let's look at the worker cost. So the worker cost actually went down this month as well, which is pretty cool. I will take that. Show cost, though, did not, because obviously we held a pay-per-view at a large arena, and we're trying to push for bigger venues anyway. But yeah, the rest of it, I don't really care about. So yeah, you know, we made money. We're nearing 2 mil, which is awesome. We'll check in a sec to see if we can buy a company. But looking at our size, we're 57. So let's look at the history. Hold on, let's look at the progress. So we jumped up 2 this month, which is annoying because there's the odd months you jump up 2. So since we jump up 2, jump up 1, jump up 3. Fucking hell. Jump up 1, jump up 2. So I'm assuming in the month of December to January, I don't think we're going to hit medium, which is so annoying. We're 2 away. But I do think that by mid-Jan, I reckon we'll be medium. Because I'm predicting we go up at least 1 point this month in popularity. Makes sense. And then in the new year, within that first month, I'm hoping we can hit medium, and then we'll do a special We're Medium show where we just try and lock down as many people to exclusive deals as possible, just because they're that much more important. But yeah, let's actually look at our things everywhere else. How are we doing in America? Canada, we're in the 20s. USA, we're not doing too bad in USA because we bought out a few companies, so we're growing slowly there. I think that'll be our next market to target. And yeah, speaking of targeting, let's go to federations. Let's sort by money, and are there any that we can buy out? So PWA Australia, 31k we'd need to buy out. PWA because milk is for babies. Is that the name of their event? Wow. Okay. Let's just look at their size. So they'd give us a boost in the Oceania, but nowhere else. But again, tempting. No. Let's look at let's tour the company, just see who their biggest people are. They've got good old Mikey Nichols. Do they have Shane Haste as well? No, they don't. Very strange. Look at their titles. That's a pretty little belt. Chris Basso and Ricky South. Gino Gambino's a double champion. Okay, not much to go off here. I don't, off the top of my head, know many of these people. Dahlia Black, I know, but she's retired now. Yeah, she's retired. Yeah, maybe wouldn't be worth doing this. It would be only worth it just to get the Oceania pop. Ring of Honor, of course, they got no money, but it comes from AEW, so we can't take over them. Same with NXT, they got no money, but it comes from WWE, so we can't take over them. Same with New Japan of America. They're owned by New Japan, so we can't do anything with them. Jimmy Uso hired by New Japan of America. What? New Japan Prestige. Jimmy Uso's available. Oh, okay. That's very random. Anyone else? David Finlay. Oh no, he's Tom Lawler. Okay, these are all a little bit more normal. And that's thingy from WWE, whatever her name was before. Yeah. Okay, that's very random. Who's next? Texas Pro. Okay, they've got money, so from here onwards, there's not much we can do. You can't attempt to take over of a company that really has money, to be honest. I'm tempted to just do this because fuck it, why not? We got a pay-per-view this month anyway, so we'll probably make profit. We're still part of the alliance. Should we try it? Rejected. Okay, they're not in enough of a bad position. Okay, so we'll monitor that. Is there anything else we can do? No, there's nothing else we can do. No. Okay, don't worry. Well, that was fun. So, yeah, we'll just end it on looking at where we are in terms of size. There we are. Look at that. We're above Tokyo, All Japan. We're above All Japan. We've got Zack Sabre Jr. We want Zack Sabre Jr., but he's on exclusive written for 1 year and 7 months. Ugh. But yeah, so we're above TJPW. We're sitting pretty. I mean, we're slowly creeping among the big boys. They're medium. They're small, which is weird. Why are they there? Medium. Pretty much everyone else is going. Okay, Game Changer, killing it. Go on, Game Changer. Stardom and medium. Do you remember when we almost bought out CMLL, but they sold everything they own? I'm wasting time here again. Yeah, Ring of Honor have got a lot of big names now. Look at this. Prince Devitt. I mean, Prince Devitt's only on a handshake, so he could be someone we maybe try and poach when we're medium. Is Sheamus exclusive? No. Sheamus, oh, he's old though. Quite old. Soraya is someone I've got my eyes on. I feel like she'll be she's a medium signing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then obviously back at the top here. Randy Orton's their biggest star. Interesting. We will, at the end of the calendar year, do like a year in review kind of thing. We'll just look at all these big companies, see who their champions are, because I know a few of you have asked for that. But I'm going to save that for just like an episode in itself. But yeah, let's just end by looking at ourselves. This is us. Look how far we've come. Love it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one, where we continue the quarterfinals of the London's Own tournament. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see all of you in the next one.